Have you ever seen this video? It was uploaded 2 years ago and it has 43 million views. Ever since I saw this video, I was wondering, could I recreate this with AI? So around 2 years ago, I tried to give this a shot, and this was the result. Now, if you think this looks like shit, don't forget that a few years ago, AI video generators weren't that good. So at the time, I was using Midjourney to generate the images and Pika AI to generate a low quality video. Both of these websites obviously came a long way since then. I upscaled the videos later with a third AI tool that I don't remember the name of. So making these videos were extremely hard at the time. And well, I haven't got many views either, but things have changed, and I think with today's technology, I could easily recreate that music video. I mean, I'm talking about a video. I would use the same music. So let's just get into it and see how long it takes. The timer starts now. I'm gonna use Grok image for the images just because it generates so many variations so fast. Like, I can just keep scrolling and it never ends. Now, if you don't know, the characters in this video are called the Chainsaw Man girls from the movie slash series slash manga called Chainsaw Man. So first, I just wanted to see if it knows the movie at all, and it seems like it does. It has an idea what I'm talking about. And so the characters looked somewhat similar, but I don't think these will be good enough for the music video. So I looked up the actual characters from the series and decided to generate the images for them one by one. So this is supposed to be Makima, which is this character. I mean, it does look similar. It definitely knows what's up. I generated some prompts with Grok to try and stylize the images. I wanted to go with the hand-drawn style, similar to the original video. And so this was the style that I liked the most. I thought the images looked very nice artistically, but I thought the generated images weren't too faithful to the original character. With Grok Image, you can just press a button and it will generate a video, which is so much easier compared to 2 years ago. Now for the music video, all I need is some slow movement. We don't need anything crazy because the cuts will be so frequent. So I generated a few videos for the first character, just to have something to work with. The second character is called Power, who has a very important feature, the red horns. And so at this point I realized that generating random images with Grok won't work out, because as you can see, it tries to generate the red horns, but sometimes it generates red hair instead, or ribbons. And so a few images did look similar to the character, but I knew that without a reference image, I'll be just guessing. Yeah, so you can see this red hair. I think that is supposed to be the horn, or I don't know how this works, but I guess it just tries to give her a horn and it gives her red hair instead. And another thing I didn't realize is that the characters were becoming less and less popular, which means fewer images of them on the internet, less training data for Grok, and even more inconsistent images. No way! Hannah! I mean, there was a whole movie about that character, so I think we gotta find a new approach. So yeah, I could have made an edit with random anime characters, but my goal was to make a Chainsaw Man edit. So instead I decided to download some reference images, and using Grok I was able to remove the background and stylize them. We're just gonna paste this one. That's actually insane. So I used this method to generate the images for each character. The only problem was that I couldn't figure out how to change the ratio for the images, which is quite annoying. But I searched for reference images for each character, generated the videos, and I repeated this a few times. But with this approach I ran into problems with the stylization. Interesting. I mean, this is already hand-drawn. Kind of. You see, the prompt wasn't really working for the reference images. It didn't look right in my opinion, and so I got a few inconsistent results, but it is what it is. The characters were also getting less and less popular, which made it hard to find reference images for them. When I thought I had enough images, I decided to start editing the video. I used Premiere Pro to edit, and so I dragged the files into the timeline. I start by changing the aspect ratio and the frame rate, and then I get the actual music for the edit. So as you can see here, I'm gonna cut the video at each beat, so each clip will have just a few seconds of playtime. I also like to label the clips so I see which ones belong together. But while editing I ran into another problem, which is there are 8 beats in the music, which is kind of hard to explain, but basically the music changes every 8 beats, so we need 8 characters. We have 2 more beats. I haven't thought about this. So I had to generate images for 2 more characters, which was a problem. Who is this? We already have this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, wait, that's exactly as many as we need. Okay. So I guess some of these characters weren't in the series, but that doesn't mean they don't have any reference images online. Even though they weren't the best, but I used what I could find. Make her posture nicer. Nice. I also decided at this point to find reference images for Makima and Power so that the images will actually look like the character. Now once I had all the images, it was time for the editing. I started by organizing the videos I had and just see what I was working with. Now this editing part is kind of boring. I'm not sure if anyone cares about this, but anyway, 1 hour later this was the result. But I was still only halfway done with the edit, which is actually good news because the music repeats itself, meaning the video can repeat itself too. Next, I did some color grading and positioning for the clips before I applied any transitions. This one looks super yellowish. Next, I did some organization, so I labeled the clips again so I can better understand the sections. And after this short organization, I adjusted the ending as well. And once I had all the cuts applied and adjusted, now it was time for the transitions. And I used Premiere Composer for this, which is a plugin. Okay, so this is how the transition looks. So I'm gonna go ahead and add this where I think it fits. So yeah, this part was really about just being creative with the transitions, where to apply them, what kind of transitions. Like, I don't have any music background, so I just try to be creative. I also wanted to add this blur effect at the beats. I think it looks good. I spent the next half an hour to add the final touches. For example, adding this extra blur effect to the beats and adjusting the color for some of the clips and stuff like that. And at around 5 hours and 20 minutes, the video was ready. So I just went ahead and rendered it. Now the video turned out pretty great. The only things that bothered me were the inconsistencies in frame rate and resolution. So I used Topaz AI to upscale the video to 4K, and I used this frame interpolation option, which makes the video 60 FPS. I mean, it was already 60 frames per second, but there were repeated frames. So this option will replace those frames with new ones. It's kinda hard to see the difference, but the bottom one is a bit smoother. It took me 5.5 hours to edit this video in the span of 2 days. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and if you wanna check out the full edit, you can do it right here.